hope I don't get killed in the process too. I kinda want that armor too. I can't fit it, dude. I can't fit it. There we go. Let's drop that. Oh, Boxy sent us? Nice. Thank you so much, Boxy. Really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone from Discord. It's been really nice. It's been streamer of the week, having you guys over here. Yeah, thank you, everyone. And thank you, Boxy, for all you do for the Discord community of Twitch growth. And I guess that's it, yeah. I'm a bit heavy, though. How's your weekend, guys? How's Saturday treating you? Come on. Maybe one specific item that should spawn here quite frequently, and I'm not really well spawn. Man, I can't do that. Also, I just noticed. Thank you also, Ironbrook, for the follow. You're the. Oh, it's not updating for some reason. The Streamlabs counter is broken, it seems. But you're the 99th follower. Only one to go to 100. Thank you guys for the support, really. Oh my god. Has to be Scab, right? Are you alone? Let me fix this. Oh my god, it's in. Hey Chris. Okay, Vandal. Yeah, let's see. Should fix now. Yeah, 99 followers. Yeah, thank you guys again for the support. Only one away from the 100 followers. Am I ready for what? How are you doing, Chris? Thank you for coming. I'm always ready for the party. I just crashed this party and killed everyone here. I know you mean that, but yeah, that's how I do parties. I get in, kick the door, and kill everyone. Okay, now I know what you mean. Thank you so much, Vandal. Thank you so much. Yeah, if you want to see it. Oh, there you go. 100 of 100. First 100 followers on Twitch. Thank you so much, guys. Really. Yeah, you did have it, pal. You did. I guess someone's gonna take that power away from you and break the 100, and your reign is gonna end. Yeah, how's the week going? I think pretty good. I've been trying to stream more this week, but I could only add a stream today because I've been really busy. And today I've been editing a visual video too. So yeah, also if you guys want to check down below, I have all the links to my socials, Instagram, Twitter, where I post funny clips or cool videos every day, and also my YouTube, where I try to post a video weekly on all the games I play, where I post not only highlights but also guides and things to help the community who plays these games. Yeah, I already checked all this. Trying to find one rechargeable battery just to get out, and I'm not being able to. But yeah, overall, streamer of the week has been really good. Having you guys over here popping on and off. See what I do. Oh, there we go. That's the item assigned. There you go. Subtext completed. We can leave. Let's get out of here. Because I'm super heavy too. I can barely run. I don't want to be caught off guard. How much time left? Oh, there's a lot of raid time left, but I need to get all this stuff out. I know where I'm gonna put it though. Also, if you type !hardcore or !lone survivor, you can see a video or read a small document on what I'm doing right here. I'm doing a very particular challenge in this game that I made myself. There's a popular hardcore challenge on Tarkov that I changed a little bit to make it even more challenging, I guess. And yeah, that's what I'm doing right here. And I need to recharge my stamina a little bit to get through this. Yeah, everything was really good. How's it been treating you guys? Just finished my coffee here too. Such good coffee. I'm really into coffee. Like, I cannot live without coffee. And I bought a pretty good machine. I've been really happy with the espresso machine. Now when I drink like other kind of coffee, I find like so hard to go from good coffee to bad coffee.
I actually forgot that you guys can hear the stream doing the thing. But there's a claim for audio on one of my streams. What is it? Is it this? Is this
wow.
what it's?
Look at this.
What's
this
getting claimed?
So natural.
The theme show? Oh yeah. This is what's getting claimed. Huh. Okay. That's I've used that before and it didn't get claimed. Okay, I guess that's the theme song to the Benny Hill Show. I didn't know what that was from, but I guess that is the theme song. Well, goddamn. This is supposed to be copyright free as well. There's like a YouTube video stuff. Like if you look up like uncopyrighted music, this shows up, but that's definitely the same thing. So okay, I guess I gotta change the audio. Okay. All right. I guess I'll let that one stay muted and I'll have to change the chatting music. That's annoying. I'll just mute it for now, but I don't know what else I'm gonna use. God damn. All right. Well, let's get into it. For those of you that would like to follow along, there is a PDF in the Discord that will give you a almost identical version of this document. It is not identical anymore because we've made some changes and I'm going to be making more changes, so when we're done with it I'll put in another version of it that is the same as what we finished with, but otherwise I'm not going to update it because it'd be getting updated almost daily. So I don't want to do that. Before we covered everything down to optics, so the first God knows how many words, but basically the first page, the first 2 pages. We covered the first 2 pages yesterday. So if you guys want to know what's in the first 2 pages, then you need to go watch the other episode from 6-3. I think it has 12 views. So thank you for that, by the way. I wasn't expecting it to get 12 views. When I had a smaller audience like this, maybe got like 2 people and like no one was by the live stream. So to even have like 1 person lurking and then have 10 people watching the repeat is better than I thought it would do. So thank you everyone for the support. I really appreciate that. And we're gonna have to go ahead and get into it and keep going. So we covered replicators briefly before, and so I don't like that there's items in the replicators. This was done at least to some degree to help with the number of items in the loot pool. And so due to there being 65 items, including grenades, that spawn other than weapons and ammo, then that's why they need the replicators, right? If you took out the grenade to be 62, because there's 3 grenades, right? So there's 62 items that could possibly get put in the replicator. A little bit less than that because they don't ever put ultimate accelerants and the survival items. So you could argue that maybe we go down to 60. Because the hop-ups... Actually, maybe the hop-ups don't go in there. And some optics do. So there's probably, I'd say, a rough estimate, 30 items, at the very least, that could possibly be in the replicator at any given moment. And I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of that at all. And so in order to let things spawn on the ground like they used to, I made efforts to trim the fat of items in the game. So to recap on what we decided to get out, if you want to know the reasoning behind that, go watch episode 1. To recap, we removed the turbocharger, the quick draw, all 3 levels of shotgun bolts. We reduce extended mags just down to 1 level of extended mag that increases reload speed instead of decreasing reload speed. We get rid of the level 1 barrel stabilizer, the level 1 standard stock, the level 1 sniper stock, and the level 3 helmet, which is not going away completely, but it's removed from ground loot. Level 1 body shield completely removed from ground loot, taking it the extra step that they didn't. Adding in a 4x scope and adding in the a gas grenade, which we covered a little bit about it making caustic gas flammable, but we're going to get into more detail on that again and kind of circle back to that gas grenade and how that would be a generic counter to caustic, so that caustics can't just sit in a small building and delay fights with their gas. Given that I'd like the damage to have an increase in damage again, not enough, not a lot, just 6 to 8. We don't need to go all the way back to it going from like 8 to 12. That was too crazy. We know that. But 6 to 8 is where I would like to see the gas go. And so that is in order to help with that, gas grenades that would ignite caustic gas. So that says, and so just I guess in case gas grenades like weird, like you think, well, what about thermites? Well, I don't want thermites to do it. I think that would give thermites a bit too much versatility with how they can blow up the doors the way that they can, how it would go all the way in. And so, especially because I have another legend who uses a tactical that's like a thermite, it would be very weird if the thermite grenade could ignite caustic gas, but then my new legend's tactical could not ignite caustic gas. And if my legend's tactical could ignite caustic gas, it'd be too broken. So I have to have a third grenade, or a fourth grenade rather, or another option to ignite caustic gas. And arc stars already have enough versatility. Frag grenades, maybe, but that it wouldn't make sense if that suddenly ignited caustic gas, and frag grenades do quite a bit of damage. So the real solution here is to add a fourth grenade, which is a grenade that seeps out an AoE area over time once on impact. So impact grenade, once it impacts, it starts seeping out gas, and then that gas would form a ball around the grenade, and then after a certain amount of time after the impact, then that gas grenade would ignite, and it would make like a fireball with like a 1 meter diameter, or maybe more, kind of thing. And then that would create a little fireball, and then that would do 30 damage to whoever's inside that radius, who's ever inside the gas. Even if you have like a toe in kind of thing, it'd do 30 damage. And then if the 1 meter diameter of that grenade is also touching caustic gas, then that would ignite the caustic gas, and then the entire area of caustic gas would turn into the new grenade area. And so it would do 30 damage to the entire area of caustic gas seeping. So that's kind of like a way to expand the damage of your grenades. And this could be used either in caustic's favor or against caustic. So that if there was a caustic that put down a bunch of traps in a room and then left and shot all the or then the traps get activated when they walk in the room, then he could throw a gas grenade in there, and that would do an extra 30 damage on top of the gas that's doing in the room. But then the gas would also dissipate and stop, igniting the gas would dissipate it and destroy active gas traps, but not inactive gas traps. So any trap that's been triggered would explode and it would go away. But any trap that has not been triggered, it wouldn't go away, and it would also counter Caustic's ultimate as another thing. That gas grenade would also stop the ultimate, so that if you see a Caustic sitting in his ult in the open to try to gain some cover and some safeness from people pushing, safety rather from people pushing, then you could throw a gas grenade to his ultimate, and then that would disperse the ultimate and ignite 30 damage to whoever's inside of it. It could to your teammates and to enemies. It would be just 30 damage to. So that way, if you have a team sitting inside their caustic gas not taking damage, then you could throw a grenade in there and it would deal with it. And yeah, so that would be a way to help caustic be counterable for all legends, which is not currently the case, and also it would help him have more damage overall. So that's one of my changes to caustic that I think would be healthy for the game overall. But again, we're not gonna we'll end up having to revisit that because it's worth talking about. But that is my change for that. Supply drops, I have changed my mind against 2 sets of supply drops. Originally there was an idea where Loba would be able to see on the map what kind of supply drop it was, and so you could introduce green supply drops for early game, red supply drops for late game, or just a mix of the two. And then the green ones could have more often stuff, they could have lesser rewards and stuff like that, and then you could have the red ones actually be worth going for versus it being this kind of roulette of what's it going to be. And so that was the idea, but I think that's probably just taking it a bit too far. I don't think that's really necessary. I think adding green supply drops would kind of ruin the whole point of Lifeline, because what did I have inside? Green supply drops would have level 3 helmet, and then a chance to be level 3 Evo, Phoenix kit, shield batteries, or a med kit, and then the last is a random weapon attachment of any tier. Yeah, that's dumb. I don't like that. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Not a good idea. Loba is granted the ability to distinguish them. Every other legend would continue to see drops as they are with no way to tell the color of the drop. That was supposed to be a buff for Loba, but I don't need that anymore, so we're going to get rid of that. So red supply drops, same thing as what they're supposed to be. Can I get this to do what I want it to do? So supply drops contain only level 4 or higher items. So gold or heirloom items, that is the plan for the supply drop rework. Weapons would include the Kraber, the 30-30, and the Volt. Guaranteed high tier loot for a rare but worth undertaking. Yeah, so that's basically is that I would rather have fewer supply drops and have them actually be worth it than the BS that's going on now, because early game supply drops almost never have a gun, so it's just kind of dumb. Like, what's the point? Why would I risk everything to go for a supply drop when, like, there's almost no point most of the time? Like the only time that I will go for it is endgame because it gives me a Kraber, but the Kraber has a fucking 6x. What am I supposed to do with a 6x at the very end game? You know, like it's a sniper. Can I have it when there's room to snipe, please? Thank you. Like, is it so hard? Like, it's close quarters, man. Drop the Volt close quarters, close quarters. Drop the Kraber early game, and then drop the 30-30 mid game. Make people have to save the Kraber for end game if they want the Kraber end game. You know, like I don't know, man. The only level 3 item allowed to spawn is the helmets. A helmet is guaranteed, but will likely be level 3. You know, do I want it to guarantee gold helmet? I think it should. For how often I see gold helmets, which is not super often for me at least, I think it should guarantee gold helmets. So I think it should only contain gold and higher items. So I think that should mean that every care package would get a oh, you know what? I think the only gold hop up I have is anvils. In my build, I think it's only anvils. Because I'm obviously getting rid of shatter caps. They're fucking stupid. I think I'm gonna decide to leave hammer points out. So when it comes to hop-ups, let me double check. Because if the only hop-up I have that's gold as anvils, I'm actually not gonna put it in the care package because I have plans for anvils. I have plans for anvils on the Sentinel. And making it guaranteed in the supply drop might make it too hard. It would, because I'm getting rid of Deadeye's tempo. It's fucking stupid. I'm getting rid of shatter caps. I'm getting rid of quick draw. I did have plans for double tap. I actually kind of enjoyed double tap, but I'm okay with it being gone. I actually don't miss it. So I would be all right with leaving double tap out of the game. I'd be all right with leaving hammer points out. Yeah, that's all fine. So I think the only hop up in the game in my version is the anvils. I think that's the only hop up. Because I did have hammer points in, but I don't particularly miss it. So I'd be all right with that. Yeah, double tap was interesting. I think that it could work. It could work. The way that I was bouncing the shotguns, I had double tap be a way to make the EVA 8 more like the PK. And then I had the double tap go on the Havoc as well. That was a way that I was going to use the double tap, was to allow the Havoc to have the open bolt delay at all times with no turbo, and then allow the Havoc to take double tap to make it 2-round burst. That was something I was going to do with the Havoc. To remove the delay and make it 2-round. That is what I was going to consider. And I thought that was an interesting thing for the Havoc. I enjoyed that. And then I had it on the G7 still. And what else did I do? Because that's down there. It's in here. I already wrote it down. I'm just trying to remember what I wrote. I definitely wrote it down. Hammers. So I had the idea to put hammers to blue, mostly unchanged. P2020 Mozam can be used as a placeholder into the mid game while you search for your preferred game loadout. The average performance against 160 health and lower, but far below average performance against 180 health and higher. That was the goal for that. Double tap now has 2 different uses. The first use is to change the fundamental playstyle of the G7, EVA 8, and Havoc. More explained later. The second is to allow an ammo-saving burst fire with no effect to the weapon at all. The same TTK damage numbers are made of fire. It simply reduces the fire. It simply replaces the single fire alternate mode for the Hemlock, R301, and Flatline. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have to check the Hemlock burst TTKs anymore. That's fine. So that was my idea for double tap. Which isn't a bad idea. It makes it go on more guns. So to be able to toss everything in double tap, and then change the Havoc, change the EVA, and change the G7, and then just have it replace single tap that way, because they those guns beside the Hemlock already has a hop up, but they only take anvils, and I do want to keep anvils in the game. But what was my plan? My plan for anvils was put it on the Hemlock, the Flatline, the R301, and the Sentinel. So I did want the Hemlock to be able to take anvils. And then a higher damage, lower rate of fire, overall slower TTK. Ghost stabilizers, recoil reduction buffs are negated. Yeah, that's similar to what it is now. I don't need to say that. You guys know what anvils does. It increases recoil as well. So that would stay the same. It would still increase recoil. The gold stabilizer would still reduce auto range and leave the that doesn't need to be there either, because we removed the gold stabilizer as well. So yeah, I guess I do want the anvils to go on the Hemlock. And my idea for the Hemlock was to make the burst delay go away, to balance it as well. Then double tap would be useless on. You wouldn't need double tap on the Hemlock, because it would be 3-round or single. So Hemlock's already burst. It doesn't really need to be 2 burst. I mean, it would be stronger though. It'd be less recoil on 2-round. So like, it would be. It's an interesting preference, right? But like, I don't think it's necessary. I probably don't. It's just extra work for no reason. So, do that. And I do think it would be interesting to have it on the Flatline and 301. I do. Because especially the Flatline. I don't think the R3 needs it, but I think the Flatline does. I think the Flatline would benefit greatly from a 2-round burst. Would it though? Because the Flatline has really high initial recoil, and then it evens out as you fire. So like, would it though? Would it benefit from a 2-round burst? I'm honestly not sure it would. It'd probably make it harder to control. So it wouldn't really be a good idea on the Flatline. It'd be interesting, but it wouldn't really be practical. So what's the point? Okay. So no on the Flatline. It would do. I mean, honestly, all of them have high initial shot recoil. All of them do that. So the Havoc is really the only. Yeah, the Havoc's the only one that would really benefit it. So fuck that then. It's fine. So it doesn't need that either. That's just too much. Okay. So yeah, double tap, G7, EVA 8, and Havoc. That's basically it. So it's just going on to the same thing. So yeah, I do think the Havoc is a good addition for that, especially given the current Havoc rework. Letting double tap go on the Havoc would be great. I did already do the damage calculations on the Evo with double tap, so that can stay because it's work I already did. And I did already do that with the G7, so to be able to have more than one hop up in the game. Otherwise, the only hop up I have in the game is anvils, and that'd be kind of weird if there's only one hop up in the whole game. So I did mostly already balance with hammers as well. So that would be interesting too. I don't think that hammers need to be purple. That was kind of a lot for something that only goes on 2 guns. That doesn't even make them that good. So I wouldn't hate bringing that back. But at the same time, the 2020 and the Mosin have been doing pretty good without it. So I don't really need them. It's more than possible to balance them without it. And they'd just be a strong drop weapon kind of thing. That's what it would kind of come down to here. So that's more than possible. So don't really need them. And then I do want double taps in the game. I think that's an interesting mechanic here. And anvils are fantastic, and I like that mechanic as well. But the annoying thing is that just 2 hop-ups doesn't sound like enough. It likely is, but if we want to look at what's in the game, what we could put in, there's not a whole lot here. Like, Disruptors are the same as hammers. It means fundamentally making stuff weird or broken for no reason. Double taps can actually provide a different alternative to how a gun is used, so that's totally fine. I'm happy leaving those in. Hammer points, it's the same as disruptors. It's just they're just dumb for no reason. The choke, completely kind of like the choke. The choke could be great. You know what? Yeah. The choke does fundamentally change how a gun is used. I think I'd bring back the choke. I think I would bring back the. I know you guys are probably fans of the PK are probably shouting, "Why the fuck would you do that to me?" But give me some time to run with it, and maybe we change our mind. But I think this might be a good thing to do. So let's give it a go real quick, and we'll run with the idea like it's a good one, and then we'll decide in a minute if it is. Can I? Oh, okay, I'm pressing the wrong thing. Precision choke. Okay. So precision choke. Why would this be a good thing? Well, so to start off with, to start explaining the logic, the reason why I don't want to bring other attachments in is because they just make the gun a better version of themselves. It's the same thing with turbo, with quick draw, all that kind of stuff. So double tap is a way to fundamentally change how the gun works and how it's affected. So allowing the G7 to kind of go into a more assault rifle build, letting the EVA 8 kind of go from the fast hip fire shotgun to the kind of like the slow peak shotgun kind of thing, where you're trading that rate of fire for raw damage output, so that if you would want a shotgun that can do everything fairly well versus one thing really well, then that would be the way to do it. The Havoc would be a way to let it have no turbocharger, the same 400 milliseconds. Actually, I think I reduced it to 300 or 350 millisecond open bolt delay. So that you have to pre-shoot the gun to get it to go into the super amazing TTK, or you can put on double tap instead of select fire, and then you can have it go into 2-round burst with no burst delay and no open bolt delay, and it's up to you to spam the trigger as fast as you can to help make up for that difference, so that you can have it be a more reliable up close gun, or you can leave it full auto and try to handle it at range. If you want to stretch that out. So that would let the Havoc kind of have this more utilitarian multi-purpose role that the R301 currently has, without having to harm the R301. And that's why I would want the double tap in there. And then anvils are self-explanatory, right? So the anvils are a way to help regular assault rifles become budget DMRs. Slower muzzle velocities than DMRs, but still faster muzzle velocities than what they currently have, which I like to add is not the case right now. I'm fairly certain, I'm like 90% certain that anvils actually reduce the muzzle velocity of assault rifles. Not really sure why, because that defeats the point of what they should be used for, because you already have shit time to kill, so you need to use it at range, but then it's harder to use at range than if you just sprayed. So kind of dumb, kind of pointless. So my version of anvils make it do what it fucking should, and it speeds up the muzzle velocity at the cost of ammo and the cost of damage, or at the cost of time to kill rather, not damage, so that you do the double the damage, but it's easier to hit those range shots. But you're gonna have a worse time to kill than if you used a G7 or longbow or triple take kind of thing, the actual DMRs, or you're gonna have a worse muzzle velocity than those guns as well. And then you still get to have the benefits of the EAR, like the faster weapon swap time, the faster aim down sight time, the faster time to kill in full auto, which is something that the other guns can't do. So there's that trade-off of if you want the budget version, or if you want the actual version with the downsides and positives that both of those classes bring. Second is to put it on the Sentinel. And I know you might be thinking, why would you want the Sentinel? Sentinel and Amped would be broken. I agree. That's why I want to get rid of Amped. I want to get rid of the Amped. I don't want to be using any more shield styles. It's too common of a thing for the ability, because what they're relying on is you trading in something common like heals to make the Sentinel worth it, right? If you want to look at the time to kill and everything, or even just the muzzle velocity when you amp it, it's the Sentinel is a completely better version of itself when it's amped. But you have this barrier in the way because the respawn fucking hates sniping. So I want the Sentinel to be viable on its own so that you don't have to do that. But Anvil receivers, because of the rarity, especially because of the rarity, would be a way to help the Sentinel situationally one-shot headshot. Very situationally. I'm talking level 2 body, level 2 helmet. If you have level 3 body, it's not going to happen. If you're fortified, it's not going to happen. If you have level 3 helmet, it's not going to happen. And you know, there's a lot of situations where it won't happen. So it's very, very situational. It's not going to be even. It likely won't be a thing at the end game to just one-shot headshot. Granted, if you're not full health, then that's another thing entirely, and that's, you know, that's fine. But I'm at most without anvils. I think I had it doing 130 to the head. I'll probably reduce that to like 120 to the head without anvils, and then with anvils, it would do about 160. To do that, you know, maybe honestly 130 is probably fine. I'd probably do 130 without anvils, and then that would be and that'd be 130 no helmet, 130 no helmet, and you already have level 1 helmet, so there's that. So you could take off your helmet and at most take 130, which I think is close to what level 3 helmet damage would be right now. I think level 3 Sentinel damage right now is 126. So it would be about the same as getting headshot when you have level 3 helmet on a Sentinel that's not amped. And that would still be the same, but it would be level 1 helmet damage would be that. So the Sentinel would actually do less damage to the head than it currently does now against level 3 helmet without amped, just as a heads up. So the headshot damage would be getting nerfed. The body shot damage would be getting increased to like 80, 85-ish range. I think I have it at 85 right now. So higher body shot, lower headshot, and then amps would increase the body damage, not enough to make it 100, by the way. And then the headshot damage would go up to 160. That's the plan for that. So no matter what, it won't be one-shotting people with no armor. That's not going to be a thing, and it will be very situationally affecting one-shot headshot as well. And for those of you that are confused about why 160 would be a one-shot headshot, it is because I have gone back and changed the body damage, and we covered that in episode 1, but that's too far away. So anyway, that's why the precision choke could be a good idea, is because it can fundamentally change how certain guns are used. And so what I would like to see is the triple take go back to, I think I'd have the triple take it. I would have the bow. I would have the bow take it. I'd have the bow take it. And I would have the so what would take it? So obviously the triple take would, the bow, and what else took it before? The PK. The PK took it before, and what else would take the precision choke? Frankly, the Mastiff could use it too. The Mastiff could. The Mastiff could really use it. But I think I'll leave the Mastiff without it. I'll leave the EVA 8 with double tap. And I'll leave the PK with choke, and the triple take with choke, and the bow with choke. The bow needs it for sure. You could argue that the 30-30 could take it, but the 30-30 will be in care package, so it won't matter. If it did take it, it'd just have it already. I'm not worried about it. But honestly, I don't like that the 30-30 charges up. It's not how I wanted it to be. For those that don't know, in Season 7, before the 30-30 was announced, I was planning on a slug variant of the Peacekeeper, and then they released the 30-30, and I was like, oh shit, cool, this is perfect. And then they had it charged, and I was like, God, come on. You know, it's anything that has anything to do with range, they just completely kill. They make it take forever to do the damage that you need, and then the rate of fire is too slow, or it doesn't take the right optics, or, you know, it's just, oh God, I hate it. It's so frustrating. Let's go into weapons real quick and double check what else might want the choke if we were to bring it back. And still not certain that we would. What would we? Can I? Thank you. So the Havoc, we have double tap. The Flatline has anvils. The Hemlock has anvils. The Earth 301 has anvils. The oh, you know what? I forgot about that. My idea wasn't for the Volt to go into the care package. It was for I changed my mind. It was for the Alternator to go in the care package. That's what it was. That's what my change was. I forgot about that. That was a new idea. Because I want the Prowler back, but it makes sense. And I'll explain this in a second. Give me a minute so I can change it. But the Alternator to go in the care package. Where's my care package? Supply drops. There we go. And Alternator. Okay. So let me explain. When it comes to the guns that are in the game, you want to look at what is entered. It'll be easier to list this actually if I do this real quick. Let me save, and then I'm gonna open up a new one so I can explain this a bit easier. So if we want to look at energy guns, light guns and heavy guns, and we want to list all of the guns. So energy, we have the Volts, the Havoc, and the Devo. And then light, we have the R9, the RE45, the Alternator, the R3, and fuck, what is that? It? Oh, that can't be it. What else is light? The R9, the R3, the Alternator, the G7 that's currently on light ammo, but that's, and my version that's on sniper. So let me rework. Let me write this as if it was my version, because that's I think that's actually it. And then sniper. On my version, what's on sniper is the bow, the triple take, the G7, the longbow, sentinel, and the P2020. I forgot the P2020. And I think I'm gonna have the 3030 go on sniper as well, but the 3030 is care package in my version, so that doesn't really matter. That could be left out. And then light would also be the P2020. Obviously the P2020 is not going to go in the thing, so on heavy would be the Prowler, the Flatline, Hemlock, the Spitfire, Wingman, and keep doing that. Keep doing that. Oh, the charge is on. That's good. I forgot about the charge. Remember when that was on energy? That was fun. And the L-Star. I forgot about the L-Star. Okay. Okay. And the L-Star. Yeah. Okay, that's everything, right? So to explain about why the Alternator should be in the care package. So we can't put two snipers in there. I know that there's two snipers in there right now, but honestly the triple take's more like a shotgun. So it kind of just swapped out, to the shotguns. But the for what would be on sniper, given that there's already the Kraber, sniper isn't an option for the care package. We should never have two snipers in the care package, so that's not going to be a thing. So the Kraber is going to live in there. It should stay in there. It's a good thing to have in there. If I was going to change out two snipers, then it'd be the Sentinel and the Kraber, because that's the only two snipers you could change out. But I wouldn't want the Kraber on ground loot, because the Kraber, I mean, it's fun, but like it's 50 cal, and if 50 cal doesn't want your headshot, then I don't want to use it. So it needs to stay in care package, even though I know some people would love having it on ground loot. It needs to stay. When you look at light, and specifically when you look at SMGs, because you have to look at the categories. So obviously snipers are one category, and we don't want another sniper in the care package. And then we've got a mid-range option, a close-range option, and a long-range option. So that's what we want to look at. Because you want to look at what would be considered mid-range, what would be considered close range, and what would be considered long range. And so mid-range options would have to be some kind of DMR. I forgot the G7. Well, the G7 would be on sniper ammo. So the G7 is possible. That could be a thing. So the G7 could be on, it could go care package. That would be acceptable. However, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think the G7 should go care package. But it is a light ammo gun that would help get rid of light ammo guns from the pool. But I don't think that would be the right move. I think that they need that that in the ground loot. You know what? Yeah. I for mid range, they could put, you know, to be fair, like just because the super takes on sniper ammo doesn't mean that it couldn't go in care package. It is a good mid range option. So I'll take back that. So if we wanted to look at what would go mid range, then you could argue maybe some of the, you know, the LMGs or the ARs could go in there, but realistically, those are the guns that everyone likes, and those are the guns that most people use, and so you're gonna piss off a lot of people by putting one of those in the care package. Like if Spitfire went care package, then, you know, no one would probably care if the L-Star went back, but people have a lot of PTSD about the L-Star being in care package because it was way fucking broken. So I don't think people want that to go back in the care package. I think people would be like, oh, fuck this, dude. Like, this is going to be broken as shit again. You could put the Hemlock in there. I don't think anyone would notice if you put the Hemlock in the care package. And that could be a thing as well. But I also don't think anyone would notice if you put the 30-30 in there. So I think when it came to mid-range options, they have to narrow it down to the G7, the triple take, the Hemlock, or the 30-30. Those are your mid-range options. Of the ones that are more like, for me, what makes sense is the 30-30, because it's a heavy mid-range gun that's a DMR marksman kind of thing that I don't want on sniper ammo. I think the 30-30 on sniper ammo would be a pain in the ass. It has too high of a rate of fire. Granted, I actually nerfed the rate of fire, and I increase the damage and make it more of a heavy hitting long range gun in the first place. Then I actually make the bow go down and damage and have a higher rate of fire. And then the choke would be what would bring it back to its current state. That's how I would handle the bow. And the 30-30 I think is the easiest one to slip in unnoticed, frankly. I think there's still some people that use the Hemlock. For those that don't know, the Hemlock has one of the fastest time to kills in the game. It's just hard to control, and that burst delay is really unforgiving. So if you miss any shots, it's like, actually, like if you miss more than one shot in your burst, then you've ruined the time to kill, and it becomes very slow. So it's just not forgiving, but it is good. It's very good, but it's not forgiving. So I think the 30-30, when I look at this list for mid-range stuff about what I would want to have go in the care package, I immediately think 30-30, but that's just me. I know some people probably immediately think Hemlock, but given that I've already balanced this as a care package gun, I'm going to leave that alone. But then that leaves us with close range. So what would be considered a close range gun that could go in the care package? Well, the Flatline, but then that would need a big buff to compete with SMG, so that's not really an option, right? None of that is really an option. So the only heavy gun that's an option is the Prowler. That's the only close range heavy gun. But this also means that heavy ammo is well, and you could, you know, I know some people might go, what about the Wingman? That's close range. Yes, but it doesn't have a competitive time to kill unless you only hit headshots. So it's too high skilled for that to be considered close range for most people. So for the average player, the only close range heavy guns are the Prowler and Flatline. The Flatline, if put in care package, would need a buff, and people would call it broken, so that's not an option. The Prowler, if removed from care package, would make a bunch of people happy, including myself. So a little bias there, but the Prowler is a fun reason to pick up a heavy mag, and you run heavy ammo guns without having to pick the Flatline or the Hemlock or the Spitfire, because the Spitfire isn't great in high skill lobbies because you're counting on people to miss and not one clip you. If people don't one clip you, the Spitfire will win, but otherwise you're fucked. The Hemlock has a very high skill ceiling that most players won't be able to use, especially because of the recoil. The Flatline is behind on time to kill, although effective. It is behind on time to kill for the R99 and the Volt by a significant margin, and it will get you fucked. So the Flatline is not a close range option, but the Prowler is a gun that can compete with the Volt and R9 that is in the heavy ammo category. So to allow the heavy ammo to have a close mid and long range option, this is the lineup that you would want. The light ammo right now, at least, it would be the close mid long range, close range, mid range, long range. But that would go in sniper. So light would no longer have a long range option. But I mean, they're going to have an LMG in a minute anyway, so it's no big deal. So anticipating the light ammo LMG, that would be their more long range option, I guess. Then energy ammo has close range Volt, mid range Havoc, long range maybe Devo or L-Star kind of thing, or just at the very least maybe they don't need long range because that's what snipers are for in the first place. So close and mid range, that leaves every ammo type with an option. But if you want to look at what has what ammo type has an abundance of close range guns, it's light. Light has an abundance of close range guns. These are all, especially right now, all three of these guns are viable. All three of these guns are in the top 9 fastest killing guns in the game. R9 at 1.18, RA45 at about 1.36, Alternator at about 1.38. So all of those guns are already close range options that is kind of spamming a lot of the close range guns, and so it's leaving heavy kind of nowhere in light because it's in the care package. And then energy is like, well, I basically only ever run the Volt. The L-Star has a competitive time to kill, sure, but it's not perfect. It has a lot of downsides for the competitiveness of the time to kill. And even then, it's only the 9th fastest killing gun in the game, and the R3 will shred the L-Star. Shred the L-Star 10 out of 10 times, and so will the Alternator. The Alternator and R3 are much more competitive than the L-Star. So the Volt is kind of my go-to, or Havoc with Turbo, if you can find the Turbo. Havoc with Turbo is fine, no big deal. That's also in the top 9, Havoc with Turbo. And otherwise, the Havoc without the Turbo is actually slower than the L-Star, in case you didn't know. So there's not, if you put the Volt in there, like, it'd be better than the Prowler. But I think if you wanted to look at what each of these guns do and what the Alternator can do, what you could make the Alternator do, I think that's what you would want, because the Volt is kind of the long range version of the three of these, right? Because the Volt can take a stabilizer, so it has that slightly higher mag capacity. Well, actually now it's almost the same mag capacity as the R9, so it's the same mag capacity as the R9 but more damage per mag because it has more shots. So same time to kill, but it can deal more damage per mag, which means that you have a higher likelihood of getting the kill because it has more damage per mag than the R9. And it can take a stabilizer to be used at range, so it's effective there, but it doesn't have a big enough mag to really compete in slower muzzle velocity than the ARs to really compete at extended ranges. But it is the most ranged SMG in the bunch for sure, and I like it that way. I think that's where it should stay. The R9 is that kind of extreme close range, fast rate of fire, kind of heavy hitter, so to speak. And so I would rather have the R9 be a little bit faster than the Volt, but let the Volt have that range, that accuracy, that controllability that the R9 doesn't quite have, and let the R9 recoil kind of be up a little bit more, increase the recoil on that, especially with the stabilizers, to let that kind of shine through and really limit the R9's range potential through recoil just a tad, while also giving it a faster time to kill than the Volt. And then the Prowler is kind of that middle ground, right? Where it's got the recoil, it's got the mag size, and it's got a great time to kill. So it's kind of that middle ground of trading off, taking the best of both of the R9 and the Volt. And that's where the Prowler sits right now, and that's a pretty good place for it. But it's also in the care package. And so what I would rather see is I would rather have the Prowler get a bit of a nerf, just a tad, and then the Alternator fill the place of the Prowler. Have the Alternator be the best of the R9 and the Volt. Have it have the mag capacity of well, really, it'd be kind of like taking the best of all three, right? So we would take the time to kill of the R9, the mag capacity of the Prowler, and then the range of the Volt, and kind of make it this ultimate SMG in the care package, so that it's kind of that clear choice of like the R9 does time to kill great, the Prowler does mag capacity great, and then the Volt does range great with manageable recoil. And then the alternator takes each one of those traits and becomes like the best version of that, but you put it in the care package to make it balanced. And you can, do the same thing that you did with limiting the ammo, 210 extra ammo, and probably give it probably the same 30 round mag, to be honest. 30 round mag and 210 extra ammo, and then you're basically done, and put that in there, and then bring the Prowler back into ground loot. And so that's why I would pick the alternator, and I think that's a pretty good case for what I would do with the alternator and why. And that will make more sense, and we'll refine that more as we go and get into the Excel document and actually assign numbers and attributes to those ideas. But that is the idea, and so we'll make that idea work and make that idea make more sense as we continue. But that is the idea for the alternator. Where were we? We were on hop-ups. So what else would take choke? What else would take choke? No. Maybe, but care package, so it doesn't matter. Yes. Yeah, that's it. That's all I would put it on. That is absolutely all I would put it on. Unless it was going to go on one of the snipers, but I'm being shotguns other than the PK. But I don't think that's a good idea. You could put it on the Mozam. Realistically. You could put it on the Mozambique. It does have 3 barrels. It makes sense. But I don't think you really need to. I don't think you need to. I think it'd be fine. I think 3 is probably enough, because that's all I have double tap on. I only have double tap on 3, precision choke on 3. Anvil is on 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's enough to make it viable. The choke, I would still have purple. Would I have it purple? Would I? I wouldn't. Let's make it interesting. Let's make it blue. Let's make it easier to find. Okay. Anyway. So, triple take, bow, PK. I think that would be a good way to do it. And then the G7 EV8 Havoc for double tap, and then the Hemlock Flatline R31 and Sentinel. Does that? I did already balance the Hemlock with Anvils, but I'm kind of wondering if one of those doesn't need it. And it's tempting, because what I have the typical balance here of the R301 being the kind of M4 all around version, and then the Flatline being the same version that it's been, the kind of SMG version that has a hard time at range, and then the Hemlock being the middle ground, that burst fire middle ground, where it is kind of trying to assume that middle position between the Flatline having a faster time to kill but having hard recoil to control, the R301 having a longer time to kill but having very easy recoil to control, and then the Hemlock fitting in the middle with moderate recoil and a moderate time to kill. And that's where I have the Hemlock. That way there's a reason to use it in the first place. And so Flatline will benefit the most from anvils because of its SMG nature. So that will help the Flatline stretch out. So no matter what, the Flatline needs anvils. The R3, I honestly don't know. I do use anvils on the R3, and I do like them. But I'm honestly just not sure. Now, there needs to be a light ammo MR, and if the G7's on sniper, then the R301. That just has to happen. And so the other question is, do I put the Havoc had select fire for energy. That's what the Havoc had that select fire. So do I take the Havoc off double tap, but then I need, what would I put on double tap? If I took the Havoc off double tap, what would I put on? So if the Havoc got select fire built in, and then it would be the G7 and the EVA 8 on double tap. What else would get it? So the 3030 is in care package. The Hemlock doesn't need it. It's the Devo could. But that'd be kind of weird and dumb. I don't think anyone. What else would it? I don't think there really is. I think that the Havoc is what would get the most change, the most mileage out of double tap. So I don't think I would. It could take both, but then a lot of people just stick with select fire. That's too many reasons to pick up the Havoc. The Havoc would be getting a massive overall buff, and it would replace the R301, which isn't the point. I don't want it to replace. So there just has to be no energy DMR. I think they made the right choice. So no energy DMR. Light DMR would be the R301, G7's on the sniper. Another reason to put G7 on sniper is to allow it to take up to a 6x, by the way. I want to have any marksman rifle take up to a 6x. So that means the 3030, the triple take, the G7, and the longbow would take a 6x, and then the sentinel and charge rifle would take an 8x up to. So that would be a way to help balance that. So optics in my build that would work would be the 3, the 2, the 4, and the 3 to 6, and the 2 to 4. Those would go on marksman. Beside the bow I would keep at a 3. Maybe I'd allow the bow to go up to a 4. I don't think that would matter. I don't know who would want to use a 4 because I'm slowing down the muzzle velocity. But if you wanted to be a crazy nut job, then go for it. And use a 4 on the bow. Why not? I definitely don't recommend that, but whatever. Why not let the bow go up to a 4? But in an effort to curb sniping and utilitarianness of the marksmans, I think the sentinel and the charge need to not take a. You know what? I could get rid of another optic. I could get rid of the 4 to 8 and make the 4 to 10 a 4 to 8 digital threat. Like, we don't really need a 10x. I think that was too far. So what if we got rid of the 4 to 8, made the 4 to 10 a 4 to 8, left it digi threat, and then that could go on everything. I think that might be better because how many people need the 10? How many people use the 10? It's overkill. I don't really need the 10. There's not a lot of times I'm going, oh man, I'm so glad I have the 10x. Like, no, doesn't happen. And granted, with my increased velocities, there'd be more ranges where the 10 would happen, but that would be the Kraber. That'd be the advantage of the Kraber, is that it would have a 6 to 10, and it would actually be a sniper. And the fact that the Kraber doesn't have digital threat is super fucking dumb to me, by the way. Like, the Prowler's a care package gun, they gets digi threat, right? Like, it's fucking classist that they don't let the Kraber have digital threat. So I think the Kraber should have a 6 to 10 digi, and I think the 4 to 10 should become a 4 to 8 digital threat. Keep it gold, sure, and then remove the 4 to 8. I think that's what I would do, because I'm also making the 6 a 3 to 6 and making that purple. So you would still have that mil dot scope variable. It would just be a 3 to 6 instead. It just wouldn't be a 4 to 8. And I think that would scratch the itch enough to not get a whole bunch of kickback from the community. Yeah, I like that idea. I'm gonna write that down. Yeah, optic changes. And this would curb the long range stuff. So digital threat. So the 1x digital is now 1 to 2. Still does not go on rifles, SMGs only. But the fact that there's a 1 to 2 variable, but the digital threat's a straight 1. Again, it's discouraging range. It's dumb. So level 3 rarity, 3x ranger is reduced to blue. 6x sniper changed to 3 to x scope for snipers and marksmen only. Level 3 purple rarity, same reticle. A new blue 4x ACOG, so that you can have a 4x that's common. But obviously there's no the 2 to 4 is still a thing, by the way. Don't panic about the 2 to 4, that's not going anywhere. So the 4x is introduced, and then the 4 to 8s, 4 to 8x scope is removed. And then the 4 to 10, I do that, thank you. The 4 to 10x scope is changed to 4 to 8s and remains digi threats and gold tier. And then in addition, the Kraber scope is remains a 6 to 10 but gains digital threat. Alternatively, if you could remove, you could swap it for a 4 to 8x digi threat. That would be 2 acceptable choices: to have it remain a 6 to 10 but no digi, or to be able to swap it for a 4 to 8 digi. That would, at the very minimum, I would want that. Granted, I don't want you to be able to put a 2x on the Kraber, but to be able to put the 8x on the Kraber, or even, you could even go if to allow a 4x minimum of 4x. So that means no 3 to 6, a straight 4, the 4 to 8, or the 6 to 10. That would be what I would do for the Kraber, is either give it the straight 4, the 4 to 8 digi threat, or the 6 to 10 that it has at the moment with no digi threat. That would be an alternative for a 4x or higher. So this would allow the 4x. Whoops, did that again. 4x, the 4 to 8s. I did it again. God damn. 4 to 8 digi for the standard. 6 to 10. That is at minimum. I would either see the 6 to 10 become digi threat, or allow it to swap for 4x or higher, which would allow the 4x, the 4 to 8 digi, and the standard 6 to 10. That's bare minimum. The Kraber change, bare minimum. I would prefer 6 to 10 digi. I would rather leave it scope locked and give it digi threat. But that's just me. If people would rather have to sacrifice the magnification for digi threat, that's fine with me too. But leaving it as is not acceptable to me. I want to change. So removing the 4 to 8. So this would affect the number of attachments in the game. Because we're now removing the 4 to 8 scope. So that would go down their level. What are we at? I'm going to double check that number when we're done with everything, but I'm keeping notes on what we've been doing. So that would mean that we're back on hop-ups again to keep with that flow. So the triple take would get the choke back as a thing. So it would, at base, struggle with range shots, meaning that after... I think I would have it be 75 meters. The triple take starts to spread, and you no longer keep hitting consistent bodies. Or to say that at 75 meters, the width of the 3 shots is exactly the same as the head hitbox. That's what I would have the triple take be. So that with the choke, you can get that range doubled. So that at 150. It's exactly the same width as the head. So that way you can very easily bring that together and hit headshots at range with triple take. The PK, I would have it be that the pellet spread of the body, I think we had that going out to like 12 meters. It was still the same size as the chest, perfectly the same size as the chest. And then with the choke, I think I had that extended to 25 meters. I need to double check. But that is very much up in the air. So if you don't like those numbers, then please let me know. Because that is definitely going to change. Just as a heads up. And the bow. Initial concept for the bow. A lot of work needs to get done on this one. But what I would do with the bow is I would make shatter caps built in. I would turn I would turn the go into a shotgun, per se. So build in shatter caps so that you, when you're charging the bow, basically is I would make the bow no longer fire when it's not all the way pulled back. I think that would be a way to, I don't know about that. Let me think about this. But I'm going to think about it out loud. So if we had the bow not fire until it was all the way pulled back, that would not make a lot of sense because it's a bow. And bows can do that all of the time. So that would be kind of annoying and dumb, and people would hate that. But what would the benefit be? Well, the benefit is that it would be easier to balance. But that doesn't mean that that's a good enough reason. So it would be easier to balance. So that's, So we'll leave the bow able to shoot if it's not all the way back, but obviously with still reduced damage. I think that was a good mechanic, and I like that they did that. I think that was a good job. They've done a great job with that. So what I would have the bow be is that if you don't ADS, it's always shatter caps. So you can charge the bow back, but when you aim down sight, it charges the arrow. Alternatively, in addition to, I would have the charge up be independent of the bow being cocked. That's not the right word. Drawn. I would have the choke be independent of the bow being drawn, meaning that you could aim down sight without drawing the bow, and it would still charge the choke to make it a regular arrow. That is what I would do. So, charging it would do the thing. As additionally, I would have it be a more of an on-off thing. So if you don't charge the choke all the way, then it wouldn't take it off of shatter caps. You know, you have to wait for it to be all the way charged to do that. Additionally, I would have the charge up time be fast. It would not be seconds. It would be fractions of a second, likely less than a quarter of a second, which is what we'd probably try to balance for. So it'd be very fast. So it realistically, for people who ADS and track targets and stay on target and stay ADS locked, you're not going to notice a huge difference, right? What it's going to change is people spamming the bow up close without aim down sighting, without using ADS. So the movement of the bow and the close range hip fire accuracy of the bow would be punished because it would be shatter caps instead. So that damage would be limited to, say, 40 per arrow. So that way, close up, you're not doing a lot of damage. So at most with shatters, you're doing like 40 damage. That range for max damage would probably go out to, say, 20 meters like a shotgun, and it would have a faster rate of fire. And then you would need to aim down sight to get the bow to turn into a full regular arrow kind of thing. And then that would allow you to do the 60 damage to the body with a different headshot multiplier. And if you're, you know, that's my concept for the bow right now. Lots of work, lots of numbers, lots of tweaking would have to go into that to make that concept work. But I think that is an avenue worth exploring with the bow, and I will explore it with the bow and see if I can get it to balance the way that I want. But I never anticipated them adding a bow, and I probably wouldn't have. I probably wouldn't have added a bow because it's a very hard thing to get right. So we'll have to see. Additionally, the muzzle velocity needs to change. It's too fast. So the bow would be more in line with the anvil receiver shots. It would be probably slower than that. It would likely be slower than those, if not the same. Maybe the same. Probably. I'd be willing to make them just barely behind. So that would be interesting as well, and that would have to require the choke. So that's the concept with the bow. Because shatter caps are useless on the 30-30, and it's an interesting mechanic with the bow, but right now it's a gimmick. So to make the bow have a place as a more all-around weapon, then yeah, I would implement shatter caps as a thing into the bow itself, because there's no point. And additionally, I would have that be non-toggleable. I would have that just be what the bow does. It would just be a shotgun now, and then if you charged it while aim down sighting, then it would become a bow. To force it to be a shotgun unless you get the choke. But again, the choke will be blue, so it will be easy to find. So it's not like you're gonna have to suck it up with that for very long. And you would be able to run the bow as a shotgun DMR combo, which is not really in the game right now, except for the bow, because the bow can do that right now, but the shotgun bit is horrible. So I would rather make it a competitive shotgun and a budget DMR than what it is now, which is a competitive DMR and a budget shotgun. It's kind of annoying because most of the time you don't need a DMR in Apex, you need a shotgun, so, or at least close range. So yeah. That would be that idea. So I think that's what we're going to stick with. We're going to try to make that work down the line. And we're going to go back up to where we were before. I'm liking where that's going. Changes. Okay, so supply drops. We went over supply drop changes. I think those are good. I don't really want that to change. I want the the weapons be the Kraber, the 33rd, the Alternator. I want that to contain only gold or higher items. This would also mean no hop ups. So the anvils would not be in here. So it would be gold body and gold helmet. Well, it would be gold / red evo. And gold body / red evo would be guaranteed. Gold helmet guaranteed. It would have to have a Phoenix kit. Yeah, I'd say it would have to have a Phoenix. And shield batteries. Should I have medkits too? The gold body, red evo, and a gold helmet guaranteed. So yeah. So that would be, so one slot would be the weapon. So it would have a weapon slot. It would have a body armor slot. And then it would have the helmets and meds slot. So basically every care package would be gold or red body, gold helmet guaranteed, Phoenix kit and shield batteries guaranteed. Well, actually, we'll have it be shield battery / med kits to make it a bit more random. So shield battery / med kits, but definitely, so guaranteed Phoenix, guaranteed gold helmet, guaranteed level 4 or higher body, no hop ups, guaranteed weapon, and some meds for sure. So that would be what the supply drop would be. Now, granted, they would have to be more rare than they are now. So we would have to mess with the drop rate of supply drops. But I want them to be worth going for, not just like a thing that's out of your way that might have some good stuff. Like, I go for it because I enjoy looting and I want to get as much loot as I can. But I know plenty of people that just ignore them and don't care that they're on the map. So to make more people care, that is the goal of supply drops. And hey, if they get more rare, because I want them to be worth it. It's too much of a gamble right now to go out of your way for it. And it's, you know, I want it to be a thing. So that's supply drops. We're gonna get into knocked players, and there's the new grenade. What did I have? So sound, is that really what I wanted to do? 5 meters in diameter. That's a big area. That's too much. 2 meters. No, 1 meter. I said 1 meter earlier. That's a good idea. Taking a total of 3 seconds. Yeah. The grenade explodes, igniting the gas into a ball of fire. The legends within the grenade will take 50 damage from the explosion. 50 damage. Oh, okay. I wanted to have it be within 1 meter would be 50. Then if you were in the gas, which was a larger area, it would be 30. But no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to legends within the grenade will take 30 base damage from the flames. That's what we're going to do. Yeah, that's a good change too. Changing the frag from 4 seconds to 3.5 and changing the arc stars from 2.8 to 2.4. I like that. Legend select players can now select three favorite legends to avoid a random legend. A shuffle button is also being introduced to allow players to pick a random legend. That's what I would like as well. And we have some legend changes, some changes to ranked, some changes to but we're going to go over the knocked player state. For those of you that have played PUBG or Warzone, then you will know how those work. But essentially is that while you are knocked, you lose health. You know, actually Warzone may not be that way. No, yeah, it does. I think it does. 99% sure. That's in Warzone and definitely PUBG. At the very least, we're going to focus on PUBG because I know for a fact it works this way in PUBG. In PUBG and likely Warzone, uh, if you lose health, you lose time left alive. Because the time you have alive is not a timer, it's based off of how much health you have left. And so your timer per se isn't an actual timer. You lose health over time, and then when you lose all your health, you die. So this is something that Apex doesn't do. I have no fucking idea why, but they need to, because you can be at 1 health in Apex, and then you still have 50 seconds fucking left before you bleed out. And there's so many people not getting their kills because some dude is sitting with a knockdown shield up. And it's really fucking annoying. Like, I've missed out on so many kills because I get a knocked guy most of the way finished, and then his timer just keeps going, and then I get killed by his teammate before he can finish bleeding out because I have to survive for 40 seconds or stop a res if they decide to go for it. And it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So it bugs me. It bugs me. All right. So currently, shooting a knock player does nothing if you don't finish them all the way. Right. It's super fucking annoying. I don't like it. So the goal is to make healers and mobile respawn beacons more important. That is the goal. So knocked enemies will now have a health bar that goes away in chunks. Chunks is a hard word that in goes away over time. Chunks makes it sound like it's a lot. Goes away over time is a better way to say that, because that's realistically what's happening. So the more you get knocked, the faster your health chunks away. That's a bad way to say it. The faster your health goes away. Any damage will reduce your health while the tick rate stays the same, reducing the amount of time you have left alive. So this means that if you get shot for 50 damage, well, then you lost 50 damage worth of time based on how fast your health ticks away. So on your first knock, 50 health may not be that bad. On your fourth knock, 50 health is going to get you killed real fucking fast. So in addition to this, there's some changes. Most notably is that the base damage of knocked players will be increased to 150. So what this means, or what you might be worried about it meaning, is that the Kraber does 145, or it's a Fortified Legends less. So at the moment, one Kraber shot will finish a knocked enemy completely because it does more than 100 damage to both Fortified Legends and not Fortified Legends. To a Fortified Legend, just double check, 145 times 0.85 does 123 damage. This will leave 26 damage left to Fortified Legends, making a Kraber shot not kill in one. And you may be thinking, but what about the 5 health on unfortified Legends? Well, if you're losing 1 health every half second, then it's not realistically that, like, you have 2.5 seconds alive, so it's not likely gonna fix anything. Like, what this is gonna do, and this is something that might be seen as and I would argue this is a nerf to the Kraber without having, like, how do you nerf the Kraber without nerfing the Kraber? This is a nerf to the Kraber. On the first knock, they're gonna have 2.5 seconds alive. On the second knock, you're gonna have less than 2 seconds alive. On the third knock, you probably will have just over a second alive. Just over a second alive if you get hit by a Kraber. And from the 5th knock onward, I'd think that you're basically fucked and you have a second before you die. So, because you have 5 health every 67 milliseconds, that's not even a whole second. Let me double check this. So this is a way to nerf the Kraber without nerfing the Kraber. because it's going to allow support legends to res the knock after being shot by the Kraber. And now you may be thinking, but they took away Lifeline's res shield. Well, I give it back. So this is gonna help with both snipers trying to finish their this is overall a buff to snipers who are trying to shoot their knocked kills, but it also is an overall nerf to the Kraber, because there's now situations where shooting a knocked player with a Kraber will no longer result in a complete finish. So this is going to be that interesting dynamic of how much of a team player are your support legends. Because if they're not enough of a team player, if you're too far from your team, it won't matter. It won't matter at all. You're still going to die. But there is a chance for teams to not get completely fucked by a Kraber headshot. A very small chance. Well, rather, there already is a small chance, but there's now a slightly larger chance that a headshot doesn't necessarily have to mean that they're completely fucked. Because if they also get that one, that it's removing that one-shot finish for the most part. And it's giving players some time to get tapped by Lifeline, some time to try to crawl to cover. There's a way for them to try to get away from that Kraber a little bit more. So overall, nerf to the Kraber, but also overall a buff to snipers. Because snipers who land that head, and again, this is not going to protect you from a headshot from the Kraber. If you get headshot while knocked, you're still fucked, you're still dead. But a body shot to the Kraber may not completely kill you if you get knocked. And I think that's a very welcome change for a lot of people in the Apex community. Additionally, it also means that if you don't use that knockdown shield, you have to, like you're really hurting the support legends on your team if you're not using your knockdown shield. Because you're gonna have less time. You can't just accept the higher movement speed and take that damage, because now if you don't, maybe you make it to cover still, but if you have no health left by the time you get there, then it doesn't matter, because your support legend won't have time to come help you out. So it's going to force players to use that knockdown shield. And this is another reason why I reduce the health of knockdown shields, because right now people sometimes just don't use it, or they just try to tank their way there. But if you're losing health, and now losing health means losing time, then you're going to have way more people using the knockdown shield, and you're going to have a higher chance of busting that shield. And so it's going to make support players have to step up their game. Overall, it's going to help snipers out, it's going to help DMRs out, and it's going to help support players have to go that extra mile a little bit more often. So this is the goal of that change. So the more you get knocked, the faster your health goes away. So any damage will reduce your health while the tick rate stays the same. Yeah. So just because you take damage doesn't mean you lose health faster. That's what that sentence means. So just because you take damage, it will not increase the tick rate. The only thing that will increase the tick rate is getting knocked over and over and over again. Every knock up to the 5th knock will have you lose health even faster. So that is the goal of that. So at 150 health, and if you lose 1 health every half second, then that gives you 75 seconds alive in the knock state. This is actually a buff. I would like to note that. Right now you get like 60 seconds on your first knock. I'm giving you 75. So you're actually getting more time on your first knock, but if you get shot at, then you're losing that time. So 150 health, technically if you can avoid getting shot, you get an extra 15 seconds. But if you get shot, then now you're getting less time. So there's that kind of give and take. The second knock, you get 50 seconds alive, which I think is still a buff. But probably by like 5 seconds, if not the same. The third knock I have you getting 35 seconds. The 4th knock I give you 20 seconds, and the 5th knock on I give you 10 seconds. So that is going to be hopefully a lot more punishing for knocked players, especially people that are constantly getting knocked over and over and over again. And so giving, again, a higher need for crypto, a higher need for Lifeline, a higher need for that dome res from Gibraltar, although I do take the fast res away. but it will make the dome res more important. So that too. The reason I kept the health lower and increased the tick rate is instead of leaving the tick rate and increasing the damage is to give players a chance for that last second clutch. The same DPS but a smoother curve, resulting in less player frustration and not instantly dying with 16 health left, because knock players now getting revived in 6 seconds. And also knock players will get revived in 6 seconds, and with self revive at 8 seconds and lifeline at 4 seconds. Oh my god, why would I do that? Why would I do that? That's a horrible idea. No. No. That's I mean, yeah, that. And that. Do I want that? There. Okay. Lifeline 6, standard and 7, self at 8.5. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So for those that don't know, fast res is, you know what, let me double check this in this legends ports lifeline I don't think it, yeah, it doesn't even, she doesn't even have fast res right now. That's dumb. Why does Lifeline not have fast res? That's what Lifeline should do. Does Gibby still have fast res? Because I'm pretty sure Gibby probably still has fast res. The Dome of Protection. Gibraltar revives allies 33% faster. 6 seconds down to 4.5 seconds. Oh, so 6 seconds is standard. It is standard. 6 seconds is what it is right now. Okay. Why did I think it was 8 seconds? Why did I think that? Okay. Yeah, so 6 seconds is fine. Then I think I had Lifeline at like, what, 5? Or I guess fast res is 4.5, so sure, we'll leave fast res where it is at 4.5. And self revive, I'll put down to 8. Then yeah, all right, fine. Sure. Yeah, but Gibby still has fast res under the dome, so that's kind of dumb. I don't know why Lifeline doesn't do that, but Lifeline is the one that should fucking have that, not goddamn Gibby. But whatever. So there's that. So we'll have Lifeline Revive in 4.5 as well. And this is going to have her go back to the 1 res with the shield on a cooldown. Calm down, everyone. On a cooldown. It's not hard. 25-second cooldown on the shield res. Otherwise, she has to do it herself. And then she does it in the standard 6 seconds, not 4.5. So 4.5 seconds with Doc. All right? With Doc. Not hard. Won't kill the game. You can relax. Lifeline needs to be able to protect people from range, okay? Especially with my knock changes with the slower movement speed, because you have to have your knockdown shield out, and if you don't prioritize that, then you're extra fucked. Like, this needs to be a thing. She needs her shield. It'll be fine, right? With that ability on a cooldown, her passive on a cooldown. I know it's weird to have a passive on a cooldown, but if her passive is on a cooldown, then it's up to you to keep track of it, or there can be a little thing, you know, like when the gold mag thing pops up, it could say Doc is ready, no big deal, you know, and there you go. Lifeline back the way she should be, the way she needs to be, no problem. So this is the new knocked system that I would implement. People losing health over time instead of just having a straight timer. Super annoying that it's a straight timer. I don't want that anymore at all. So the new knocked state. This is unchanged from the PDF on the Discord. So if you would like to look at the PDF on the Discord, that section's still the same. This section just got changed right here, so that's going to be a bit different. And then ranked. Ranked things. We need to work on this again. So new seasons no longer knock players down tiers at all. I still want that. I want Master and Diamond will get knocked half a tier every split. Master and Diamond players cannot get removed from Master or Diamond respectively. Additionally, Gold players cannot be demoted. Can be demoted to Silver 1, and Platinum players can be demoted to Gold 1. Oh, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Why did I do that? This is weird. This needs to get changed. So, yeah. That can go away. That's irrelevant. That's go away too. That's changing for sure. Fuck that. Dumb idea. New seasons no longer knock players down tiers at all. Yes, that's I still want that. Splits will now reset players back to the start of the you know what? I have a better solution here. Splits now remove XRP from every player's amounts. So what this would mean is that it would affect every player, so that eventually this would mean that Predators could eventually get put all the way back down to Masters, but they don't have to. It wouldn't like auto set them back. I don't know if it does, to be honest. RP gain loss per tier. No, hold on. Here we go. Okay. So Master is 10,000. Apex Predator is the top 750 players. But how much RP does it take to get through Diamond? That is over 2,000 RP. So if it took away 3,000 RP every split, then that would affect everyone. Because 3,000 RP would be enough to put you back into Diamond. If you're in Master, you stay in Master. But if you're at 12,000 RP in Masters, you'd go back down to 10. And then Predators would lose 3,000 RP every split as well. So you'd have to maintain that every split. And that would also mean that every single split... Well, you know, it could be two. It could be two, because that way in Diamonds, you maybe not get put all the way back. And 2,000 is enough to put people from Platinum 1 back into Plat 4. So that's enough. And 2,000 RP is enough to put people from Gold 1 to Gold 4. It's enough to put people from Silver 1 to Silver 4. And it's enough to put people all the way back to the beginning of Bronze. So 2,000 RP. 3,000 might be a bit overkill. I think if I said 3,000, Predators would be like, fuck you. But 2,000 should probably be fine. So splits now remove 2,000 RP from every player's amount. So if you have 10,000 RP and you lose 2,000, you stay at 10,000 because you can't be put out of Masters, right? So no longer block down tiers at all. Splits now remove 2,000 RP from every player's amount. This will not demote you in skill brackets, but will reset most players to the start of the tier. This will not demote you in tiers, but will reset most players to the start of the tier. Players, thank you for the comma. New seasons are no longer knock down players tiers at all. Okay. Let's see. From 5 to 8. Why 8? Why did I do 8? So I like that it went up to 6, but there's it's kills and assists though. If it was just kills, then I could see it going to 8. Maybe that should be a thing. Maybe it should be up to 5 kills and up to 3 assists. Maybe that should be the change to ranked, to allow more RP per game. Up to 5 kills, up to 3 assists. So you can get at most 8 total. I think I like that. The number of kills and assists you can gain RP from has been increased from 5 to 8. You will now gain RP for up to 5 kills and up to 3 assists. Damage now grants RP at a rate of 1%, meaning that 1000 damage will net you 10 RP. Knockdowns will now grant 2 RP. That might be too much RP. That's too much RP. Okay. That's too much RP. Should damage... No. No. Any account with Predator, Master, Diamond Troll unlocked that is not currently in Diamond or higher will be reinstated to Diamond 4. Players can opt out to return to Platinum 2 instead. Yeah. Yeah. Those players have no business being in gold or lower. It hurts the game. So, any account that has ever hit Predator, Master, or Diamond in ranked will go bare minimum Diamond 4. At lowest, go at highest Diamond 4, at lowest Platinum 2. Because they're likely good enough to get through it. So why have them? I mean, there's some people that maybe hit Predator back in like season 2, season 3, or people that hit Diamond in season 6 and then just stop playing ranked, and now they're all the way back in gold or lower. They're not a bad player. They didn't get worse. They just stopped playing ranked. They just went into pubs instead, you know? And if they walked away, then go into pubs. I believe in you. You'll get better again. All right? You can warm up in pubs. You can do that kind of stuff in pubs with your team still. You don't have to do it in ranked. There's plenty of people in ranked now that are trying to be competitive, that need that healthy environment and don't need you warming up in ranked with them. You can do that in pubs and then go into ranked later. So I think that is realistic for ranked. Those players, they're within the top 6% of the game, easily within top 6% of players. So that why make them go through silver and gold and ruin the experience for everyone else? Just put them in platinum at minimum, and they'll get back up. I promise. They have it in them. They do. The number of kills and assists you get from RP has been increased from 5 to 8. You will now gain RP for up to 5 kills and up to 3 assists. If you any account with Predator, yeah, okay, that's fine. This will not demote you. Split now remove 2000 RP from every player's account, so that will reset you to the beginning. So let's do an example. For example, a player in Gold 1 will lose 2000 RP and be placed into Gold 4. Plats diamond players. Yeah, so basically, it would just be bronze to diamonds will work the same way. And then masters, or you're locked in there. Once you hit it kind of thing. 2000 RP is enough to knock you all the way back to Diamond 4 for sure. And then masters would just, you're in masters, and then just at that point you're competing for pred. So masters will still lose 2k RP and can never go below 10,000. So that would be that. And so this would mean that Preds will also lose 2,000 RP per splits. And I'm curious if, well, first of all, I'm not sure if predators get reset every season or not. I'm not sure if at the end of every split everyone goes back to 10,000 RP and then everyone has to climb back up that splits, or if it is more similar to this right now. I'm honestly not sure. So if anyone does know that, then please let me know, because I don't know exactly how it works. But I am worried that if everyone wasn't demoted every single split, then if you didn't get completely reset the entire time, then like every single, like, you would have some players that grind out ranked all the time that would be, potentially thousands of RP ahead at the beginning of the split. But at the same time, it is still difficult to maintain that RP. So I just worry that for people that are in Masters that wanted to grind to pred, that if everyone wasn't put back to the beginning of Masters on an even playing field every season, then it would be difficult for people who have gotten and maintained pred to ever be usurped or challenged by new master players, because of how much RP they could bank over multiple seasons, because they're only losing 2,000 RP versus masters who are gonna lose that 2,000 RP every split, and then they would have to gain it super fast in order to get up into pred. Which, yeah, and then that also would mean that if you did 2,000 RP every splits, then you would have some people who could hit predator, walk away for a little bit, take a break from ranked, not have to grind every season to keep it, and then come back and defend it if they got demoted too far. So that would be a benefit of doing 2k per split versus resetting everyone to masters and forcing everyone to grind every single season. But for the few people that did grind every season, you could have some people be like 5,000 RP ahead in a year and a half of people that are in masters, and you could have someone maintaining like 15,000 RP while new master players are only at 10. But that kind of is the point of Predator, isn't it? Like, to have the extra elite people who do the grind, who want to maintain that, who can get ahead that fast and that far. So realistically, for the amount of people that it would affect and how much it would mean to people to have that extra gap in RP for the what is it, what do the kids these days say, the clout, that's what it is, the clout, then that would be a thing. So I think realistically the healthy thing for the Predator scene, and for Epic bragging rights, would that Masters and Preds would still lose 2 RP per splits, and get to keep any progress. Why is above that into the next split? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there we go. Rank changes said and done. Going back down to, and I think this would be a, for example, that should have a colon, shouldn't it? Or would it be a semicolon? Colon. Fuck. I don't know. Nope. Semicolon. Semicolon. Okay. Right. And I think what I was saying, so changing the RP from 5 kills from 6 kills / assists, I think this would help the curve of ranked be a bit steeper, right? Because you would let the high skilled players who are getting kills and assists go through even faster, because now they can get even more RP than they did before, while also limiting the players that are not getting kills. Hey, 90D, what's up, dude? Also, letting the people who are not getting kills cap out at 3 assists, so that they have to start not just getting assists but getting kills to get through ranked in any form, really. I mean, if you want to, well, I mean, no, because the 3 is enough. You could get to diamond. You could get to diamond getting 3 assists every game with placement. So you could still get to diamond with a max of 3 assists and no kills. So that's still possible. But if you wanted to get into Masters, that is where it starts to get very unlikely. Because 3 times 20, yeah, it would be 3 times 20, which is 60, which is the cost for diamond matches, isn't it? Don't diamond and hold on. Oh, diamond is 48. Okay, so yeah, that's doable then. Because if you get third, you get 40 RP, and then if you had 3 assists, you get 20 per. So that's you could still get into Masters with nothing but assists. But if you want to compete for Pred, realistically compete for Pred, you have to start getting kills, because otherwise you're getting 40 RP per game if you get 3 assists and placement, and you'd have to get third. So I think that would help Predators more accurately compete for who is really, the top percent. So I think that is overall a healthy change. I think that is definitely the change that I would make for ranked, is to limit to 3 assists, up to 5 kills for 3 assists separately, so you can get total of 8, and then stop demoting people. And just reset them to the beginning of the rank. That would be a huge healthy update for ranked. I would love to see that. We've already covered the new grenade several times, so we're going to move on. We've covered Legend Select already real quick. That's, easy said and done, no big deal kind of thing. And then we're coming up on 2 hours. So that might have to do it for this episode. I think that will cover everything that we wanted to cover. Because we covered hop-up ideas, we covered grenades, we covered Legend Select, we covered the new grenade, we covered ranked, we covered knockdown, knocked players, supply drops, replicators. And then we can start getting into potential legend changes, the new legends that I designed, and maybe we go over gun change. No, the gun changes was super. I think I left that out. Yeah, I think I left that out. Yeah, no, I don't think I have gun done styles on that particular one. And I didn't finish Kristoff. But Navarro, I think I pretty much finished. Ghost, I pretty much finished. Oh, what if I gave Iron Lunds to Pathfinder? He's a robot. That would make sense. I could give it to Ghost and I could give it to Pathfinder. Yeah. Maybe that's how I rework Pathfinder. He's a fucking robot after all. And an assault wait, what the player wants to fly the drone. They just have to press the button again. Okay. I don't know why that's bad grammar, but I'm gonna switch that to decides. Nope, that's still wrong. Oh, play your decides to fly the drone. That's comma. Okay, cool. Cool. The drone only other goes to crypto. No, that's what I wanted to say. Okay. Yeah. So that is that's gonna end this episode for everyone. Thanks for coming by. Appreciate it though. That's gonna end this episode, and we're gonna switch over to I think we might continue with this. We might just keep rolling. I'm liking the review that we're doing. So we're gonna go ahead and continue this rework probably just right now, and we're just going to segment this episode into what we did, and we'll continue with potential legend changes and what I would like to see for some legends, and we'll rework that together live as well. As always, if you guys would like to follow along, there should be a version of this in the Discord. If you would like to catch up on previous episodes, then the YouTube VOD channel is where you're going to want to go for that, or just rewatch the last episode on Twitch. But if you're watching this somewhere else, or rather, if you see this episode on Twitch but not the last episode on Twitch, the one before this, that is where you're going to want to go if you're watching a repeat way in the future. But otherwise, thank you for coming by, and we're going to keep going on making adjustments to what I have been calling my Apex Legends living rework, and then getting some of this stuff a bit more solidified into what I would like to have happen for certain legends and for certain guns. But the guns are a whole nother animal, and we'll be focusing on that at a later date, but not too far in the future. Pretty soon after. But I think we're going to keep growing, and we're going to start covering at least a few legends because I have time to, and cut it in another 2 hours. So thank you everyone for coming by, and we're going to do the next episode right now.